Here is a requested tutorial on how to achieve this stylish winged collar blouse. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. Start to be drafting this in a smaller or miniature size. You need your shoulder to bust, shoulder to underbust, shoulder to waist. Add extra 8 inches to your blouse length, or go ahead to measure where you want your blouse to stop. Now go ahead to mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Come down by 1 inch. Mark a basic measurement of 3 inches for the neckline. From that your shoulder slant, go down by 1 inch and then connect it to the neckline. Next is to find the chest line, which is the bust round circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. After you get, draw out a straight line there. Place back your tape and mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Connect from that point all the way to the upper part of your shoulder. Place your tape back. Divide what you have at the chest line to the shoulder into 2. Come in by ½ inch. Here, you're going to mark the bust circumference divided by 4. Connect from the midpoint all the way to the upper part, and from the midpoint to the bust round circumference divided by 4. The next step is to mark your dart. To mark your dart, you need your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Go ahead to mark this from the bust, waist and blouse length. And after marking that, you look closer at this blouse, you notice that it is not a princess dart. So since it's not a princess dart, I'll just be making use of a basic dart pattern. I'll mark ½ inch on both sides, come down by 1 inch. After that, I'm going to connect this all the way to this ½ inch, then connect it to the upper part of my pattern. The next step is I will take this dart and I'll use a straight dart for it. I'll mark that ½ inch all the way down. After marking that, I'll connect it all the way down to the lower part of this pattern. Insert my measurement. I'll mark my round bust measurement divided by 4. Add any sewing allowance of your choice. I'll mark the under bust measurement divided by 4. Pick this dart intake. I'll replace, then add my sewing allowance. Here I'll mark the waist measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake I have here, replace, and then I'll add my sewing allowance. Here I'll mark the hip measurement divided by 4. Pick the dart intake, replace, and then add any sewing allowance of your choice. After that, I'll connect from the bust to the waist, to the under bust, to the waist, and then I'll connect it back to the blouse length, right? After I'm done connecting, I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline my pattern. After outlining, I'll go ahead to replace all this measurement on this other side. After I'm done drafting out, this is what I have. Now let's alter this pattern to get what we need. Here, I'll go ahead to take my nipple to nipple point all the way to the shoulder of my pattern. Now, if you feel the shoulder is too small, go in by ½ inch from your nipple to nipple point and connect. So after this, I'll go ahead to connect my pattern all the way down. Now, after connecting to this point, the next step I will take is on this other side of my pattern. So after connecting on this other side, you notice that the shoulder came in a little more than the nipple point. Since I'm drafting this on an illustration, my shoulder is a little small, but when you're drafting yours, please come in by 1 inch or 1.5 after your shoulder. Now, to draw this winged collar dress, all you need to do is to place your collar, place another pattern paper over your shoulder point, mark the shoulder slant, and then go ahead to mark out the desired collar that you want, right? The wing collar that you're using. This is faster and easier to shape out, right? When you're using your pattern, you can always go ahead to readjust it to what you want. Now just go ahead to cut this out, then you'll be placing it back to your dress. So after this is what I have, and the next step I'll take is measure 5 inches from the waistline here. Now after measuring that, I'll go ahead to extend it to the blouse length. Blend in your dart and go ahead to connect this all the way up. You can come up by 2 or 3 inches and then go ahead to measure about 5 inches and connect to the other side. So here is my pattern, and I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline this. After outlining this, I'll just go ahead to cut this out. Now you go ahead to sew out your darts when you're sewing your dress. Use a basic dart because this dress is not a princess dart, and if I use a shoulder dart it might be slightly confusing. So I'm just using a basic dart, and I'll go ahead to cut this out. And I'll go ahead to sew up my darts, cut out the areas I don't need. So after cutting out, this is what I have for this pattern. Now let's go ahead to draft the back pattern. For the back pattern, I used like my zipper allowance here, right? So for the zipper allowance, you need 1.5 to 2 inches. Now here's the shoulder to bust. Then add extra 7 inches to your dress. So after marking that 7 inches extra, what you're going to do is for your neckline, remember we have like slightly two measurement for the neckline. So when you're drafting one part, you're going to use your nipple to nipple point as a guideline. Then on the other side, after marking your nipple to nipple point, you will come in by 1.5. Now you're going to do that when you're transferring your fabric to pattern, so your pattern to fabric, sorry. Next, you mark your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Then you're going to mark this all the way down. After marking this, go ahead to place your ruler to draw out a straight line. Now I'll be marking my basic dart of 1/2 inch on both sides. So after marking that, come down by 1 inch from the bust. Go ahead to extend this all the way to this point, and then take it all the way down at both sides of my pattern. After I'm done marking that, the next step I'll take is to insert my body measurement. I'll insert the bust measurement divided by 4, and I'll add my sewing allowance. I'll mark the waist circumference divided by 4, pick the dart intake replace, and add my sewing allowance. I will mark the hip circumference divided by 4, and I'll add my sewing allowance. Please use any sewing allowance of your choice. Now after that, I'll place my ruler, connect from the waist to the upper part, and connect down to the hip point of my pattern. After I'm done connecting, I'll connect from the waist to the blouse length. Now after connecting that, at the waist, I'll measure that same 5 inches and then mark. Then draw out a stylish hemline for the back. Now if you don't want to do this, you can still use any style of your choice. Come in by 1/2 inch from the waistline, connect it, and then go ahead to extend this all the way to the upper part of this dress. This is to take out the zipper bulge at the back of the dress. I'll go ahead to outline it. So this zipper bulge we took out, you can replace it to avoid having shortage at the waistline, and then blend it into your pattern, right? So that by the time you sew out your zip, you won't have shortage at the waistline. Then remember, like I said, for the neckline, after cutting one side, that is the neckline that has the nipple to nipple, and then you come out by 1/2 inch, right? You're also going to adjust your neckline to match the other neckline that is probably your nipple to nipple, and you come in by 1.5 inches. That is the only difference at the neckline of this dress. So after cutting this out, this is what I have. So if you have any question, please go ahead to ask.